A common practice in fantasy football is identifying young talent at the running back position. After all, the position is filled with cliches when looking for upside. Young backs have quote-unquote fresh legs, less tread on the tires, and they're much more likely than their veteran counterparts to rise on a depth chart as they gain experience. Plus, backs are typically most valuable on their rookie contract when teams can give them significant workloads while not paying them a ton of money. The less wear and tear, the better. And if they can stay healthy and handle a primary role, that's going to pay dividends if you're able to get them in your fantasy draft. Naturally, the first rookie name that comes to mind this year is Ashton Jeanty. There are no secrets with Jeanty, and you're not getting him at a discount. He'll be, at the latest, a high second-round pick in your redraft league after the Raiders made him the 6th overall pick. 300-plus touches are coming his way, and he has immediate RB1 expectations for fantasy. In total, 6 running backs were selected on the first 2 days of the draft. Jeanty and Amarian Hampton were first-round picks, followed by Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, R.J. Harvey, and Caleb Johnson on day 2. So quite a few teams invested significant draft capital to add to their backfield, and each back has a very good argument why we should expect them to be fantasy relevant this year. But between your draft position and roster makeup, you're likely only going to have a shot at a couple of those names. So who stands out as a target? To be clear, I understand the argument for all of these players. They're highly touted prospects, and none of them landed in what I would consider to be bad spots, at least from an opportunity perspective. But one name in particular should be available no matter where you end up drafting, because he's one of the cheapest names of this group. Cleveland made Quinshon Judkins the 3rd running back off the board, but on Underdog Fantasy, his ADP is lower than Henderson and Harvey. Henderson was drafted by the Patriots only 2 picks later, but as of right now, he's going about 10 picks higher than Judkins in redraft rankings. Not a crazy development considering Henderson's expected involvement as a pass catcher, but Judkins is going to get carries almost right away, and he's almost a full round cheaper than his former Ohio State teammate. So, who is Quinshon Judkins, and what makes him a target this year in fantasy? Judkins spent his first 2 collegiate seasons at Ole Miss. He was a star right away, and he didn't even start until the latter half of his first year. In 2022, as a freshman, he led the Rebels with 274 carries for 1,567 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns, chipping in 15 catches for 132 receiving yards and another score in 13 games played. The type of numbers you expect to see from a polished upperclassman. His rushing totals dipped a bit as a sophomore, but he was still effective. He handled 271 carries for 1,158 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns. He also had 22 catches for 149 receiving yards and 2 receiving scores. He again played all 13 games, earning first-team All-SEC honors. Judkins transferred to Ohio State for the 2024 season and split backfield duties with Henderson. So his numbers dipped again, but that was a little more by design, and his efficiency was better than it was in 2023. All told, he handled 194 carries for 1,060 rushing yards and 14 rushing touchdowns, adding 22 catches for 161 receiving yards and 2 receiving scores. He played in all 16 games for the national champions. So by that count, Judkins didn't miss a game in college, and standing 6 feet tall, weighing 220 pounds, he has the size and durability to be a team's primary runner. So much so that Cleveland made him the 36th overall pick in the draft. Excellent draft capital to boot. Judkins will compete with incumbent Jerome Ford for work in the Browns' backfield. Ford had 140 touches in 14 games played for Cleveland in 2024. He exited 2 games early due to injury and missed 2 others, excluding Week 18, which is meaningless for fantasy. So he was involved for much of the season, but hardly had a workhorse role. On top of that, a lot of opportunities are available in this offense. Nick Chubb and Donta Foreman are no longer with the team. They combined for 173 carries last year. Judkins could easily soak up all of that work himself. Not to mention, quarterbacks Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson combined for 77 scrambles, a number that is not likely to be replicated by the combination of signal callers for the Browns this season. With a more proven runner in the mix, Judkins feels like a safe bet for 200-plus carries and 20 to 25 catches. If those modest projections stretch to 250 total opportunities, very possible considering the Browns still have a good defense that can keep games close, Judkins has a great chance to return RB2 value with a 6th or 7th round ADP, especially when you factor in those 50 touchdowns he scored over the course of his collegiate career. He's already a mid-first round pick in dynasty rookie drafts. That much is obvious. But he's quietly shaping up to be a great value in redraft as well, and is worth targeting 60 picks into your draft.